you're well on your way to understanding and working with databases. You've got this concept, this idea that you've already learned in the last video, that we take like information, we group it into similar categories or groups, and then we put that into tables, right? So we have like a customers table where we put all the information about customers into the customers table. And then we have a movies table where we put all the information about the different movies we might offer for rent into the movies table. And then we had this table in the middle, which was the rentals table, which kept track of all of our rental transactions. So that's really a big chunk of what you need to understand in order to build this first basic database, a database for a video rental store. But how would we actually build it? To do that, we're going to use a program called Microsoft Access. And if you go to All Programs, Microsoft Office, you will find Microsoft Access right there as one of the programs. I'm going to click Start on that. While that's starting up, I'm going to go here to Google Chrome, and I'm going to show you a few of the other databases that are out there in the marketplace. So we're using Microsoft Access, which is kind of like, the junior version of a database. It'll work okay. It'll work good for little businesses and things like that. But if you want to run a website or want to run a larger business, you're going to have to get a more powerful database. One of the databases that's out there is Microsoft SQL Server. And MS SQL Server is the database that's created by Microsoft. Another database that is out there is Oracle database. And Oracle database is one of the, Microsoft SQL Server, Oracle, those are two of the big players of databases. And interestingly, there's the Oracle World Cup boat, right? Which Oracle sponsors. You can see Oracle there. And it's a pretty amazing boat that goes like 50 miles an hour and planes up out of the water when it's running at full speed. It actually rises up out of the water on these skis that are attached to its bottom. Not supposed to be in that position. That was a mishap right there, it looks like. Pretty cool boat, the Oracle boat. And we're looking to see if there's a picture of it up on its skis. Up on its skis, up in the air. Wow, that's a crazy photo. People flying. Here we go, kind of up on its skis. You can see it up out of the air. But if you want to look for interesting YouTube videos, wow, there's a great one of it, right? Completely up out of the water, just on its skis. Pretty amazing. Anyhow, Oracle is another one of the databases. A third database that you'll have out there is MySQL. So MySQL is another database that you will find out there. And there's a bunch of others, but those are the three most popular ones. So let's look at working with Microsoft Access. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create tables, because we have tables that group information for us. We'll have a customers table that groups all the customers information, a movies table that groups all the movies information, so on and so forth. And when I start Access, there's some similar looking stuff to it. Actually, I'm looking at Microsoft Word here in the background, and that in the background. There we go. That's what it looks like when I start Access. So when I start Access, I could go to a custom web app or just go to a blank desktop database. I'm going to go for that. And there's some templates here too, where I could choose, right? I could choose asset tracking, contacts, task management, project management, issue tracking. I'm going to go for a blank database. I'm going to call it video rental. And where am I going to put it? I'm going to put it where I'm making all these videos for week 7. There we go. And click create. So it starts up, and again, there's going to be a few new skills you need to learn here. It looks a little bit different than Word and Excel. We're not seeing anything where we format data or anything like that. But the main place we're going to look is right here. Is to create, and we have create table. And we could create the table just by clicking create table right there, or we could, I'm going to cancel that. Or we could create a table by going create table in design view, which is what I actually prefer. So we're going to create a table, and we're going to call this table, Control S to save it. We're going to call it customers. All right, so this is our customers table. We'll capture the information about customers. And it's saying I need to have some fields before I save the table. So the first field I'm going to have is customer ID. And this is a programming convention to put like a little C in front of field names. And that tells me it's from the customer table. So customer ID, and that is going to be auto number, because I just want it to be a number. And I also want it to be something called the primary key. Now the primary key we saw in this diagram here, the primary key was really important. So here's the key field that makes this database work. Here's the key field for the movies table. Here's the key field for the rentals table. And here's the key field for the customers table. Why do we call this the key field? Because it uniquely identifies every customer. So just right here, like Jose has, the customer ID 3. And so we could come over here and we can see, oh, customer ID 3, Jose rented this because Jose is customer ID 3. So this is the key field, the field that's key to making relational databases work. And every number here has to uniquely identify a customer. Imagine if both Jose and Minnie had the number 3 and Lalo had the number 3 as their customer ID. If we lost a movie, oh, that was rented by customer 3, we'd be like, wait, which one, right? So every customer has to have a unique ID, just like every citizen in the United States has a social security number, and that uniquely identifies every citizen in the United States. Every record, every entry in a table, needs to have a unique identifier so that we could, if we need to reference that entry in a table, we could go look it up. So that's the key field. And I just made customer ID auto number. It's automatically going to number, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I made that the key field to uniquely identify it. And that means there will be no duplicates. You can see down here in field properties, it says no duplicates, no duplicates. All right, so that's customer ID. Now we're going to do customer first name. And we could do, if we wanted to, customer last name. And we could do customer driver's license number. And we could make that short text also. And we could also do phone number, C phone, right? And, that might be a number. And we might also come down here to input mask right there and click the little button and see if there's, sure, save the table, and this will be customers, okay. Text or data type field, so let's make it a text. Short text, and let's go to input mask and see if we can make this, sure, save the table, a phone number. And so there's a phone number input mask, and that means I'm only going to be able to enter numbers that fit this type of a format, and they're only going to allow numbers. And so that's a form of data validation. So I'm just going to hit next, next, and finish. And so that's only going to allow phone numbers, right? And I could do that for social security number if I wanted to capture customer social security number. I could do this, and then I could also enter other fields here like C address, right? C city, C zip, and again the C stands for customer. So I'll know when I'm looking at these fields in code, oh, this is the customer's first name because it's got a C in front of it. So I just created a bunch of fields here, and for each customer I'll capture this information. And right now I'm in data view, design view. I'm in design view right now, but I could go to data sheet view and save the table, sure. And now here's where I could start entering my customers, right? So I could start entering my customers' information. And here it'd be Joe, and then, Joe Montana or whatever, and whatever information there. And I'm hitting tab to get between those fields. And then it would be Jerry Rice and whatever information there. And then it would be Russell Perry or whatever information there, and it'd be Bob Hope, and it would be whatever information there, and it would be David Letterman. I have a lot of famous people coming to my video rental store, and it would be Johnny Carson and dead people, Johnny Carson. So I've got 6 customers there, and that's plenty, just like I had 6 customers here. So that's how we create our first table, and you've learned how to create a table, and that's the first step to creating your first database for this video rental store, creating a table. We'll create another table in the next video.